Yo, what's good? It's your boy B-Dell. I am back with some extensive edification. If you're new to this channel, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. But today we're going to be talking about this dynamical process on how the dimensions work in synergy with light code transmission. But what you got to understand is that the brain is being manipulated by the molecular atomic structure, which creates this negative frequency of light code lockdown that basically puts an encryption on your mental capacity. So this is why you can only see 10% of the electromagnetic spectrum, because you are trapped in an artificial time analysis mechanism, but time doesn't exist in the fourth dimension, because when light breaks into a dimension, it reverses the polarity of time that's engineered by the phantom energy that sends an activation to the 7 neurological circuits to where you can see beyond the illusion, to where you can see beyond the illusion of religion, to where you can see beyond the illusion of politics, to where you can see beyond the illusion of time, to where you can see beyond the illusion of money. And this is also the inception point of the fall of the economic system, because their systems work on an artificial construct of time. So this is why they say time is money, but money doesn't exist without time, right? So first, we're going to start out with the fourth dimension, right? We're going to be talking about the ascension process when you're talking about the fourth dimension. Because when you have that open vortex that's going to open up in the spring, right after the spring equinox, that is going to be pulling us into the fourth dimensional energy, which is a divine feminine energy, and is going to be propelled through gravitational propulsion, and it's going to activate the biorhythm and the magnetic field of the planet, right? So the fourth dimension works in symbiotic connection to the mental plane. So this is why you're going to have an activation of your neurological circuits to where you can see beyond the illusion. So this is going to be your personification of the great reset and the great separation, to where you're going to have a certain demographic of people who are acclimated to the three-dimensional illusion. They're going to be left behind in the three-dimensional state, right? Because the material plane is galvanized by the moon. The mental plane is galvanized by the solar radiation that's hitting the planet, which what you call is coronal mass ejections or solar flares, right? So now what you got to understand is that the fourth dimension is also in alignment to your 7 energy cortexes, which are the chakras that puts the endocrine system in alignment, right? Because the heart is the seat of the soul. So now when you go to this chart right here, it says that, your chakras work in symbiotic connection to the seat of the soul, which is connected to the thymus gland, right? So this is why, you cannot enter the fourth dimension being a hater. You cannot enter the fourth dimension being jealous. You cannot enter the fourth dimension in a form of toxicity, right? Because that energy creates particles of sodium atoms, and the sodium atoms basically steals electrons from the heart chakra to where it basically depletes the thymus gland, right? So that's why they say that, oh, you're getting salty. That's because when you're mad or jealous, or you're sad and you're in a depressive state, it produces more sodium all throughout your molecular structure, and it puts you out of balance. So in order to go to the fourth dimension, the heart and the mind must be working in symbiotic connection for fourth dimensional ascension, right? So this is also correlated to the 7 planes, right? Which is the fourth dimension, because the fourth dimension is the soul and the spirit body working in symbiotic connection to where you outgrow the material world, right? So like I said, the inception point of that fourth dimensional energy, came from the Philadelphia experiment, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. But when you look at this chart right here, it tells you that the heart is the electrical field, and it's 100 times stronger than the brain, and a heart's magnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than the frequency of the brain and the mind and things of that nature. So in order to reap the benefits of unity consciousness, you have to shift the electrical grid that is activated by the 9 ether genetics to where you change up the atoms in the three-dimensional paradigm to where you ascend into the fourth dimension. Now, this is why you have the vast majority of people on the planet are starting to collapse and fall out, because like I said, the heart is the seat of the soul. So in order to reap the benefits of evolution and ascension, you have to vibrate on the frequency of love. So that feeling in your heart of it affects your consciousness, and it basically manipulates the reality makers. And the reality makers are the archons, who are the ruler gods who control everything in the three-dimensional paradigm, right? So there's a delineation between the creator gods, who are the Galactic Federation and the Anunnaki, and the ruler gods, who are the Draconians, who rule everything in the three-dimensional paradigm through Draconian law, which is connected to the Hegelian dialectic principle that is connected to fear, right? The field of your heart might be miles away, but it's also, you can activate this energy through group meditation, right? Let me see something here. Why did that do that? Well, hold on. Now, so with that being said, they want to keep you locked in a three-dimensional reality so you don't reap the benefits of ascension. So now when you go to this publication right here that's based on esoteric Gnosticism, archons and Gnosticism, can't you see it? Archons and Gnosticism are basically the physical builders of the three-dimensional universe, basically, which is acclimated to the seven planes. And they basically prevent souls from leaving the material world. Now, how do they do that? That's because when you go to this United States map, right? When you go to the United States map, you have 7 energy centers, right? You have 7 energy centers that's acclimated to the Big Dipper star constellation. So you got St. Louis, Missouri. Then you got Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, and then you have Washington, D.C. And these, and you have Philadelphia. So these 7 energy centers are basically in alignment with the Big Dipper star constellation. And whoever controls these cities controls everybody in the frequency on the planet. So whoever controls these cities and this geographical landmass of America basically controls the world, right? Because this geographical landmass at one point in time was connected to Atlantis and things of that nature when you're talking about, you know, all these ancient civilizations. So they control these energy centers through energy, frequency, and vibration that's connected to the electrical grid. So that's why they have the Ark in St. Louis. That's why they have the Sears Tower in Chicago. That's why in Detroit, they have the largest Masonic building. In DC, you have the obelisk that's in alignment with the Pleiadian star constellation, because George Washington, that's where he got his edification to keep people in the form of a lunar light-like energy. Then you got Philadelphia, where you got the Liberty Bell, and the Liberty Bell is also in alignment to the allegorical story of how they stole the birthright from the Moors. So they cracked the Liberty Bell by taking our liberation, and they do the Murmurs Parade in a form of a ritual that keeps us out of our sovereign capacity. Then in New York, you got the Statue of Liberty, and you got the Empire State Building. And then in Boston, that's where you have the American Revolution back in 1975. So these 7 energy centers, like I said, these are very powerful energy centers because they're in alignment with the Big Dipper star constellation. And whoever controls these cities through energy, frequency, and vibration that's connected to the moon, which is the material world, that galvanizes the material world, that keeps you under a lunar energy. Whoever controls these cities controls everything on the planet, right? So that's why, you know, they got to keep us in the form of subjugation, because they know that the year 2025 is also a numerical component that activates the number 9. Because when you understand the metaphysical essence of vortex mathematics, the number 9 represents completion, right? And the 9 also represents, where's it at? It represents love, peace, suffering, you know, faith, meekness, you know, it represents the knowledge, faith, healing, prophecy. So like I said, 9 is an esoteric number that's connected to the year 2025. And the reason I brought 2025 up, because this is also the precursor to when you're talking about this catastrophic event that's going to be taking place in 2025, right? They said that we got 2 years left, and I'm going to be showing you a video that's conducive to that information. So 9 is an esoteric number, because when you look at the numerical spectrum of 2025, like I said, you get the number 9. And the 9 in the quantum world basically governs the spiritual and the physical world at the same time. So the number 9 is very powerful. Like I said, it represents completion, although it's not the final ending. So this is basically your personification of a great awakening that's basically going to cause the shift on the planet. So it's going to be the precursor to the end of an old system as you segue into a new system that's connected to the fourth dimension through light code transmission, right? So this is, like I said, it basically is the fulfillment of one cycle so that you can prepare to initiate to the next one. You're not going to be able to initiate to the next cycle or the next plane of existence if you're vibrating on a low frequency, because if you have a parasitical vibration, you're gonna be decimated along with the three-dimensional paradigm, right? So with that being said, this is why they put this out not too long ago, right? This is why on the doomsday clock, it says it's 90 seconds till midnight, right? It's 90 seconds to midnight because they know that the time is basically up, the time of the three-dimensional paradigm. So this is why their enterprises, their organizations, this is why their banking system and everything is falling, because I told you, money doesn't exist without the illusionary frequency of time, and time is galvanized by the three-dimensional matrix system that's controlled by Draconians and archons. So I'm going to play this video.
Members of the Science and Security Board moved the hands of the doomsday clock forward, largely, though not exclusively, because of the mounting dangers in the war in Ukraine. We moved the clock forward the closest it has ever been to midnight. It is now 90 seconds to midnight. The members of the science.
So like I said, they try to give you this illusion that it's all based on the energy of war. But the war is really the war with the mind, because they know the fourth dimension is the mental plane. And they know that the mental plane has the ability to activate certain things within your neurological capacity, and it's able to activate you at a biological level, right? And in order to deviate, to make you deviate from that energy and that frequency to where you reap the benefits of those metaphysical abilities, what they do is they hit you with the Draconian juice that basically puts an encryption on your biological structure that basically activates the amino acid cryptocytes, which is activated by fear. So this is also conducive to Draconian law, because their systems of law. Oh, hold on. Because their systems of law is based on fear, right? So Draconian law, like I said, it claims to where the Draconians laws were passed nowhere, and it's based on harshness and said to be written in blood rather than ink. So like I said, everything is, controlled by the archons through energy, frequency, and vibration, and through fear, because they know that the fear is conducive to the point where it can reconfigure your genetical structure on your helix strands, right? So that stops you from ascension when you operating from a place of fear, because that puts an encryption on your heart chakra, right? Because when you really have faith, when you really chosen, fear ain't gonna do nothing to you, right? You'll be able to ascend from the three-dimensional matrix system, right? So this is why they put out this right here. It says that the geopolitical instability raises the threat of catastrophic cyber attack in 2 years. And this is a publication that was propagated by the World Economic Forum. So that's because they know that their time is up. This is why I said it's 90 seconds till midnight on the doomsday clock, right? So they try to say it's a cyber attack, but it's really going to be an activation of the non-ether genetics that's activated by the coronal mass ejections, which are colossal solar flares, right? So there's a delineation between an EMP and a CME. When they saying something about a cyber attack, they're trying to say in translation that it's going to be an EMP, but it's not going to be an EMP, it's going to be a CME, because they know that the planetary ascension affects everything on the planet that's connected to the electrical grid node of the three-dimensional matrix system that works in symbiotic connection with the moon. So this also talks about how the moon is an artificial construct, because they at one point in time, when you read this publication right here, it says the Earth, if it comes up, Look at the top, it says the Earth without the moon. So you got to look at that movie Moonfall. I did a breakdown of the movie Moonfall because the moon is basically the personification of a patrilineal patriarchal system that was galvanized in the last 6,000 years under the age of Pisces, right? And the Piscean age was controlled by mankind. But like I said, the laws of mankind doesn't equate to the laws of nature, and the laws of nature is galvanized by the Aquarian age under a matriarchal system, right? So now I think we don't need this here anymore. So like I said, when you look at that doomsday clock, we just got out of that. Now when you go to this video right here, it talks about the final countdown, and they put that in the clouds in somewhere in Germany, I believe. Now, if you read it closely, like if you want to slow the video down and come back and look at it or whatever, what you're reading in the sky right now, it says the final countdown. The final countdown to what? The final countdown to the pole shift into where you have a genetical upgrade on the planet, right? But like I said, this is why their systems of control is falling out of power. It's falling out of power because they know that the frequency and the vibration of the divine feminine energy that's connected to nature must take back the planet. Their time is up. So this is the final countdown. Countdown. It's 90 seconds to midnight.
Wow. Final. I'm done. I'm done. This is incredible. Oh my God. This is live from Hamburg, Germany. It is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planes in the sky. And I can't believe what I'm seeing. It is the final countdown. Can you see that, guys?
Final countdown.
It's bloody amazing.
It's the final countdown because their time is up.
Amazing.
Their time is up. The 6,000-year verification period of the Canaanite beastman and his system, their time is up. Their time is up because they know that the Galactic Federation is coming back to take back the planet as you have that open vortex that's going to open up. We're going to get into that in a little bit. So like I said, this is why not Bill Gates, but Donald Trump, he wants to build another dome over the planet because they know the ozone layer is being depleted, right? And so when you have a depletion and you have a rip inside the dome because that solar transmission is hitting the planet, like I said, this is why it's raining in one spot right here. So this is why they want to protect the electromagnetic grid right now, because they know that the grid works in symbiotic connection to their technological systems. And technology is the third eye for the beast in his system, right? So this is why they want to merge humans with cybernetics to basically throw off the genetical sequence of who you are, because they don't want your DNA to upgrade with the fourth dimensional energy when you have the open vortex in March, right? So, like I said, that's why they want to keep everything under a form of a lunar light lock energy. And a lunar light lock energy is conducive to all those energy centers that we just got through talking about, right? That keeps you under a sleep spell called Kingu, which is activated by the moon, right? So this is, like I said, that's why Donald Trump, he wants to build a dome, another dome over the planet to block the frequency in the solar radiation and the solar transmission that's in the planet. So this is why it's very imperative for you to not be riding in planes right now. Whether you know what I'm saying, whether you believe that or not. But if I was, anybody who likes to travel, I would rather for you to, drive there instead of taking a plane. Because, I had a premonition not too long ago, you're going to have a lot of plane crashes. That's what I seen in, one of my premonitions in one of my dreams. It's going to be a lot of plane crashes because the more the solar transmission, starts hitting this atmosphere, right? When you have that open vortex, that divine feminine energy is a karmic energy. And I told you that karma is activated by the number 13. 1 + 3 = 4, fourth dimensional energy that's coming to the planet to decimate everything in the three-dimensional paradigm. So if I was you, I would stay off airplanes. I'm just saying.
Taking this live.
But anyhow, this and what you're looking at in this video is raining in one spot. So there's a glitch in the matrix system.
I'm taking this live when they come out with some road. Oh. Unbelievable stuff, man. I can't explain this.
So like I said, man, you got 2 years left before, you get your stuff together. You got 2 years left, to get your energy right. You got 2 years left to get your vibration right. You got 2 years left, for you to leave behind the three-dimensional paradigm, to where you leave behind fear, division, anger, control, hate, artificial intelligence, so where you can ascend to the vibration of love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, and consciousness, right? Because like I said, the only thing that you have as you have these organizations, these enterprises, the Federal Reserve and the money system, once time and all these things is depleted, the only thing you got is love, unity, peace, freedom, healing, and consciousness, and knowledge of who you are, knowledge of self. So this is going to, as you have the old world being decimated, you're going to have people who are stuck in the three-dimensional frequency. They're going to try to pull you back. So during this time period, a lot of chosen ones on the planet are going to get attacked because we're basically going to be the ones exposing the illusion. We're going to expose the illusion of religion. We're going to expose the illusion of politics, money, time. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be to the point where people are going to try to hold on to the system so much because they have a veneration for money and politics and things of that nature that they don't want to ascend with the new world because they don't understand that knowledge of self is the only way you can, to reap the benefits of the Great Awakening to where you ascend on the planet in a fourth dimensional frequency. So it's going to be a lot of people who are acclimated to the illusion who are going to be left behind. And a lot of these people are your family members, your friends, people you used to kick it with, go out to parties and drink with. You know what I'm saying? You got to leave behind that old energy and that frequency because you cannot do the things that you used to do in the fourth dimension, right? None of this stuff, exists in the fourth dimension. A lot of people talk about fourth dimensional ascension, but they're not really ready for it, right? Because like I said, the planet must ascend to where you can see certain things, to where you can see beyond the electromagnetic spectrum. So this is why you don't see the beings in the fourth dimension, the Anunnaki or the Galactic Federation, because you're not ready for it. Because like I told you, the fourth dimension is the mental plane, and the mental plane gets you ready for full disclosure when you're talking about the Galactic Federation, the Anunnaki, and these Draconian reptilians who thrive on the fourth dimensional frequency. So that's why that woman who exposed the reptilians, she said that they cannot hold the anatomy of a human in the fourth dimension, right? So a lot of you are not going to be ready for a fourth dimensional ascension because you ain't going to believe what you're seeing with your own two eyes, right? Because you was connected to the illusion the whole time. You was holding on to religion, right? You was holding on to false spirituality. So now we're going to go to, like I said, the open vortex. We're going to go to the open vortex. Hold on. Thought I had it on here. Oh, I see. I know where it's at. So we're going to be talking about the open vortex, because like I told you, the open vortex, it naturally used to open up from 1920, 1930, 1940, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, year 2000, 2010, 2010, 2020. So the open vortex was supposed to open up in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Because it opens up in 10-year increments. So what happened was in 1943, when you had the Philadelphia experiment, in 1943 caused a big rip in the universe, and it basically manipulated the fragment of time, right? So this was a fourth dimensional energy when they opened up these portals, and it made a Navy ship dematerialize and go into a different dimension, and it ended up in 1983 in Montauk. So the Philadelphia experiment is a precursor to the Montauk project. So the Montauk project, like I said, that fourth dimensional energy, the ship that dematerialized in 1943, the Navy ship during the Philadelphia experiment, it ended up in Montauk, New York. So in Montauk, New York, you had another portal that opened up in 1983. So this is why, during these times in the 1980s, you had a lot of star seeds, indigo children, a lot of chosen ones. A lot of the people was born, these chosen people were born during this time period in the 1980s and the 1990s and things of that nature. And, that's why a lot of us have that, that fourth dimensional energy to us, to where we could reap the benefits of speaking truth, empowered to decimate everything in the three-dimensional paradigm, because that open vortex from 1943, that's what happened. So when you look at the facts as we know them from the Montauk project and the Philadelphia experiment, in 1943, it says that a Philadelphia Navy ship, the extract of nature to test the open speculation with the possible candidates, including experiments in magnetic invisibility, radar invisibility, optical invisibility. And it's basically, like I said, they was manipulating the fragment of time by opening up portals in the form of invisibility. So like I said, the portal used to naturally open up in 10-year increments, but now, since the portal opened up from 1943, 53, 63, 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2013, now in 2023. So there's going to be a big event that's going to be taking place. That's going to be the precursor to the catastrophic event that's supposed to be taking place in 2025, right? So like I said, you got 2 years to get your stuff together, because like I said, when you understand the metaphysical essence of vortex mathematics, the number 7 is in alignment to the year 2023, right? And that number 7 represents detachment, right? You got to detach from the old system in order to ascend. You know what I'm saying? 7 also represents evolution, to evolve to 2025. When you break down the numerical spectrum, you get 9, to where you reap the benefits of deviating from the old world, because the old world is completed, because 9 represents completion, right? So what else I got for you? With that being said, we living in very incriminating times right now. You know what I'm saying? You cannot, hold on to the three-dimensional illusion anymore. A lot of things is going to be taking place. You know what I'm saying? You must do your shadow work extensively. You know what I'm saying? You cannot have emotional attachment to people, places, and possessions, because it's going to hold you back on a negative frequency. You know what I'm saying? To where you don't reap the benefits of dimensional ascension on the planet. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that's going to hold you back is fake friends, fake family members. You know what I'm saying? Genetically modified foods that has microscopic cryogenic nanotechnology in it. All these things is going to keep you on a three-dimensional frequency, to where you don't ascend on the planet, because it's all based on nanogenetic mind control, and they want to control your mind, because that's what the war is really about. World War III is really about the war on the mind. to where you don't reach the material plane, not the material plane, the mental plane, because the mental plane is the fourth dimensional connection that is activated by a tetrahedron energy. Tetra is 4, the personification of 4. So like I said, they don't want you to have that symbiotic connection to terraform with nature, to metamorphosize with nature. You know what I'm saying? They don't want you to reap the benefits of galactic ascension, right? Because they know that the Galactic Federation is the ones that's terraforming the earth from the energy, frequency, and the vibration of Nibiru. As you have the Galactic Federation inside the planet is terraforming everything on the surface. So with all that being said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Get this video out there. It's very important. End of transmission.